there is something in all of us which draws us to nature. Hello.
So today is going to be very exciting because I just got a call from Dr. Ramakanta,
Ask me why.
and he said he's doing some plantation at the rainforest suite in Kanashantivanam.
What more?
Dr. Ramakanta is a retired Principal Chief Conservator of Forests in the Indian Forest Service, and he's one of the most interesting people I know.
A very personal opinion.
When I came to this place 5 years ago, it was barren and dry, and now it's like this green oasis in the middle of this dry and arid area. He's part of the team that's responsible for the greening of Kana,
No, not me.
and he's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We have a lot of fun together. We have a lot of laughs. Dr. Ramakanta is really passionate about trees. He's really passionate about plants. He knows all their names. He knows their attributes. He knows what their medicinal value is.
Oh, this is some extraordinary plant.
And it's just fantastic to walk around the forest with him. So I'm really looking forward to this morning. Let's go. You can roll, bro. Oh. With Ramakant bhai, you can't afford to not roll. Huh? You have to roll all the time.
Yeah. I'll heads off to the two sisters from United States of America. We call her affectionately M and M, Marsha and
Margaret.
Margaret. Okay.
So it's like the candy M&M.
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 I've had 3 people try to eat me today.
Academician and a business owner and a researcher. Research into consciousness.
Wow.
Wow. And they are here in the, come this side. It's green here.
So consciousness, for people who don't know, is a very light subject. It's no biggie. Everybody knows what it is.
Just very loose and expanded.
Okay. We are at the rainforest suite of Kanashantivanam, and the two sisters, they are all heartfulness trainers for many years. They are going to plant 2 rainforest species in the entrance of the rainforest.
Fantastic.
Yeah, come, let's go. Actually, come from a village, supposed to be a village. Mine was the only house there. I had no neighbors in the shouting distance. Half a kilometer you had to go to the other house, and surrounded by jungle. In the childhood, nature fascinated me, and I loved wilderness. I looked at birds, I looked at animals. Animals actually fascinated me from my childhood. We were 7 brothers, a mother and a father. Father used to go here and there, and nobody else around. So jungle and sickening isolation also. If you thought jungle means wonderful, romantic, no. It has also other meanings. So to reach out to the neighbor, I had to climb down the hillock, cross a perennial stream, an arecanut plantation. Then there is a house, and they all had neighbors, 3, 4, 5 houses. Somehow ours was the only isolated house. So this association starts from the very childhood.
Well, what is this?
This is a ubiquitous Jamun, and this one.
Right,
This is one of the most traded medicinal plants of India. Okay, come. So, who is going to be the first to plant? Come.
right here?
Here. We will add quite a few things here.
Now this is the biochar.
Activated biochar, then we have vermicompost, then we have neem cake as a pest control measure.
How much?
More. I keep saying more.
Okay.
There's no such thing as too much biochar?
This is Sanskrit saying, Bahudaya Amrutam Visham. In excess, nectar turns into poison.
Okay. So anything too much is...
Anything too much is no good. I have read a paper wherein it comes in the uh, uptake of some nutrients for the plant if you put too much of.
Too much.
So,
So what's a thumb rule? How much is enough for like a tree? I mean,
now,
how do you guess?
I can't say it in quantity. This much, sir, for this.
What would that be, Masha? Bucketful? How much did you
no,
put?
no, not at all.
About 5 small handfuls.
Oh, okay, 5 Masha handfuls.
5 Marsha handfuls.
And
And it really covered the bottom of the hole, but
yeah,
only
one layer,
that
a
one
layer.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the semi-arid landscape, it holds on to moisture, it holds on to nutrients, and then slowly re-releases back into the plants, and for all eternity it is there. It's just a medium. A gram of this charcoal has the surface area to cover an acre of land. So with this, I keep saying that we have an unprecedented growth here at Kana Shantivanam. I've never seen in my life. One is this intervention. Mixture of vermicompost and neem cake.
Slipping through my fingers, it's so fine.
Yeah, I guess it's been through an earthworm. It has to be fine.
Now she is thinking of soap.
Yes.
As
Okay.
we put the soil, we add a little more, not just at the bottom.
So for anyone
Yeah.
doing plantation, it's very important to have Masha on hand so that she can measure out things in Masha handfuls. So 5 Masha handfuls of biocharcoal, 5 Masha handfuls of vermicompost and neem cake mix.
Hold up your hands so
Right, Marsha hands are this size.
And a fistful of
Dollars.
just
A fistful of dollars.
Fistful of polyter,
Oh, it's
just a fistful. Oh, she is generous.
What is polyter, Rabakar? What does this do?
This is a gel. It absorbs water, re-releases back into the soil, swells and holds the water, gives it to the plant. In a semi-arid landscape, this played a very vital role. Now the bio-activated charcoal is replacing this.
Ah, okay.
Just to show off, we brought it.
Oh, so it was so that it doesn't feel bad. The biocharcoal has taken its place. We don't really need this, but we don't want it to feel bad. So we
give
put
it
it
a
Yeah, come. There is a small technique here. We grow this for quite some time and remove the bottom of it.
so you can just, and then the roots can spread out and grow.
The root ball should not be disturbed.
Yes.
If it breaks,
Yeah.
the plant will suffer. So this is how. Now, when in our tradition, suppose when guest comes and we want to please them, we give them a platter and full of fruit, this, that. You should touch it like this. I have received. Now you touch it, bless it, and he will keep the plant down. Right? Ha, come.
Wow.
Okay. Once inside, he removes the rest of the plastic.
Do you pay attention to the
Yeah. There is a face to a plant and a back.
Yes.
So it will later on turn as it wants, depending on the sun. When we plant, the visitor should see the face of the plant, not the back.
Some people find the back attractive. You know that.
Oh, I didn't hear at all. Come. You see that hair?
He just asked him if he's straight because he wants to know the sexual orientation of this tree.
You're putting it in YouTube.
Yes, brother. So, I mean, we'll put a warning. Parental advisory. Tree planting ahead. Some graphic scenes of tree plantations.
How much?
Just a little more, little more, little more, little more. Actually, I would like to talk something about this Indian plum. This is Jamun. This is a very special tree of India. Almost all species of Jamun, that is Syzygium is the genus. This is Syzygium cumini, proven anti-diabetic. The seeds are generally used to regulate, to manage diabetes. A tree which can withstand waterlogging, a tree that can come in semi-arid landscape, the saline, alkaline soils, and the tree comes up. And it's a good timber, and this timber can be used even under water, in the sense if there's a waterlogging, anything. Excellent fruit for human beings and for the birds, and nectar for the butterflies. Yeah. And we all compliment Masha for planting such a wonderful tree right in the front. Yeah. Now you please help Margaret to plant another tree. Let's select and bring. Come. Huh? I got into forest service. Many people, most of the people in India do not know what forest officers do. They simply do not understand. It's a very negative job for the society. A fellow who shouldn't have been there, shouldn't be there. And we are given a responsibility to say no. People come. I was the director of a national park, one of the best in the world. And a fellow comes and says, see, you are heartless. We are asking for a school for tribal children. And when saying no, you don't even have any remorse. What kind of a human being are you? He asked me from his heart. And he was from an urban area. But I'll share you another experience. A tribal comes, an educated fellow comes and says, we do not like to live like an animal. It is the urban area, the fellows come in harmony with nature. Not true. He comes and tells me, we want education. We want to live in, like you live. You live a wonderful life. Why do you deprive us of that? He says that, and I am with that tribal gentleman who said that. So, living in forest is not a wonderful thing. Go on a vacation, stay a few days, refresh yourself, come back is a different thing. Stay there, I don't know, I may sound very odd, ticks gets into your body, all parts of body. You will be scratching yourself. To glory or to hell, I don't know. It's difficult. Why? Another thing that comes to my mind, a tribal hamlet in harmony with nature. If you have a cycle, your next ambition, I would like to have a scooter. You have a scooter, you want to have a car. You have a car, you want to have a big one. So how is anyone different from you or me? We are all human beings. Don't try to categorize into human beings into this or that. Nice to be on a riverside, have a nice food, look at the nature's beauty, come back and live in if your money permits, have an AC. I don't care much about that, honestly. I don't even feel the need of an AC. But then if you need it, have it. I have no problem about it.
What are you looking for when you select a tree?
I mean, I would not like another Jamun next to it.
Okay.
Generally, in a rainforest, so much is the species diversity. 50 meter by 50 meter in a place called Silent Valley National Park, 52 tree species were enumerated. Mind-blogging. 50 meters by 50 meters, a small, 52.
Crazy.
So we generally ensure that same plant is So we will give a different companion to that. This is mango. Okay, the most traded tree of the Western Ghats. She, okay, by the way, what I heard is that she is, एक minute, she is research and health. I don't know much. I had very little interaction with Margaret. Please speak about yourself. Before you speak, I'll say something. I saw a film by Mani Ratnam, Ponniyin Selvam. It's all Latin for you, I know. A Tamil film. Okay. And in that, a character says, modesty should not suppress the truth. So speak about yourself uninhibited.
You know that I don't like to speak. You have my number. Well, now I have to ask you, I spent 30 years studying helping people with Parkinson's disease.
Wow.
And I'm curious, and we'll talk about this today, you and I, about what in the rainforest here can help these people. Because it's a really difficult disease, terrible disease.
Coconut, I come to know, is a panacea for this Parkinson's as well as Alzheimer's. It was an oil which was condemned by the industry, saying that it causes heart blockage, all that. But absolutely now the research says it is very good for human health, and especially in dealing with Alzheimer's and Parkinson.
Wow.
Coconut.
See,
We have plenty of
you have
coconut trees
plenty
in
of
our
coconut here.
Kana Shantivanam.
Yeah.
Surprisingly simple, the simplest thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Coconut water is good for your daughter. It are full of iron. Make you feel like a lion.
Get your coconut candy, make you feel very dandy.
So now I have to tell you that since I retired, you mentioned I'm studying consciousness. So I have another question. Which of these plants will facilitate expanding consciousness?
All plants do that. The uniqueness of heartfulness meditation as a trainer, is yogic transmission. And Dajis maintains that plants absorbs this yogic transmission. Unlike many of us, I'll not say most, they retain it and slowly re-releases this divine energy essence into the atmosphere, charges the place with spiritual energy. That's what he maintains. Okay, so that's why he says, pack this place with plants, as many as the place can hold. And of course, we use the science here. We give respectable distance between big trees and grow small plants in between the big trees. Come.
Okay, then I'm going to contribute to one tree being here.
Come.
I'm going to contribute to consciousness.
Yeah. Prayerfully.
Don't take it away. Oh, take it to its new home. Yes, take it
It's a
away.
beauty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, how large will this get?
This is a medium-sized tree. It is, we call it in Sanskrit, Garuda fala, this big. As I know, was in great demand when there was lots of leprosy. Thank God now there isn't much. So demand almost came down. But then demand came again in a big way. All the big fruits are taken to Germany and they give you white pills. They don't tell from this or that plant, but we get white pills, homeopathy pills from Germany, but it goes as for making. Yeah, this is the botanical name is Hydnocarpus pentandra, one of the most traded medicinal trees of India from the Western Ghats.
Wow.
You know the Western Ghats of India?
Where? What city is there? What?
The west coast of India, it's like
Goa?
a V. And all along the west coast, from Kanyakumari, the Kerala, to the Tapti river of Gujarat, we have a gentle rolling hills. They are called Western Ghats, a chain of hills.
So it's a very long chain.
Yeah, and it is one of the 3 areas for tropical wet evergreen forest,
Okay.
which is generic term rainforest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
All right.
other two places are Andaman and Nicobar group of islands and the eastern Himalaya.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I've heard of the Western Ghats many times, but I wasn't clear the vast
The
area that it
calmest one.
covers.
It's a picturesque place on earth. One of the most beautiful places. But you say, what's that site? A UN
World Heritage.
World
the World
Heritage
Heritage
Site.
Site.
So part of it is a
Yeah.
World Heritage Site. Especially there is something called cloud forest. Most
Yes.
of the time. It's very near to my home. I don't even have a town.
That's why he's talking so much about the Western Ghats.
Yeah.
From the Western Ghats himself. Let's talk about the Himalayas.
He comes from, Himalaya, Nainital part of it.
Okay.
The Western Ghats is like hillocks. The Himalayas are actually hills, so like
Yeah, it's a
mountains.
young mountain, very fragile. Landslides keep happening. And this is one of the oldest, rock formations you find in Western Ghats.
A little more. But we've got Everest, bro.
I am not going to take your name. This is the person who goes by the
Hill dog.
hill dog.
Woof woof.
You missed it. He missed it. Hill dog. Woof, woof. Once again.
Woof woof.
Yeah, and mandatory now for all of us to pray for it. We are nothing but vibration, as you know. We send love.
Send love.
Because tell them its environments are going to be very harsh, very high temperature, high velocity wind without much moisture, but you will grow well, have confidence. This is what we tell them, tell the plants. You shall do well. There are others who are doing already well. Don't be
They
afraid.
will be your models. You will be like them. Yes. Yes.
And now we actually close our eyes and for a
Let's.
minute.
Yes.
I've seen rivers dying out. I lived in the banks of River Sharavati, a river that is dead now. A mega hydroelectric dam submerged most of our paddy fields, and then a very little part of the arecanut plant was survived. My father was given a monetary compensation and then alternate land in irrigated land. And he said, who will go to that dry land where there is no water for ablution? That's what he said. There was a lot of water coming to that land. He sold off that land. You give money to somebody who has never seen that much of money, that person will not be able to manage it. He lost it all over the years. Mother was very sensible, fought with him and had lots of gold bangles and chains. That alone survived. Money went away. He built a fancy house. Most of the money went away. Land went away. From a comfortable position to we became near poor. So there's all this kind of a development. It should. First thing is that if some developmental project takes away somebody's land, ensure that that land is given, an alternate land is given somewhere else. And then that person should have no right to sell that land at least for a few years. Then create something, if that person is from a forest area, maybe a tribal, a non-tribal, create certain kind of a very similar environment. Then, educate him. Don't you are given a cash money, you lose it. Tell him this kind of a. So there, I have seen such resettlements done wonderfully well when the leadership is very sensitive. When it is driven by some kind of an ideology, tribals are hurting the forest, this fellow is hurting, throw them out, not an approach. Or keep them there and they are living in harmony, not the approach. So Each one, if you remove a tribal hamlet from a dense forest area, each one deserves a Taj Mahal for himself. And then that kind of economic benefit the country is getting by making a project of that kind of a thing, which has ecological consequences. So when you do it, it's a choice that I want economic progress, so I'm doing this. So when the whole, say for example, Sharavati hydroelectric project has made it one of the most progressive state in the country. But nothing came to that person who was destabilized. Nothing, not even subsidy on the electric charges. That is not fair, is what I am saying. So a humane approach to these things, and don't mystify things, don't romanticize things. Take a hard look.
And here, group snap with Vinay.
And
who's been
his
helping you, assistance. Janaki, you go. So that's the M&M Gate plantation crew. Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you so much.
And one turn to yourself. There's a beautiful background.
Right, I'll turn to myself. There's an ugly man in front of a beautiful forest.
Fishing for compliments.
I know.
We will not give.
You've heard the fairy tales of so and so and the fairy tales of Hans Christian Andersen. We are the ponytails of Ghana.
And a little into our forest, come. With Margaret, come. Masha, come.
When did you begin the planting of
About 4 years ago.
4 years?
Yeah.
Amazing.
This is, most of the time it has pink to red leaves. It's an ebony endemic to the Western Ghats. But now its leaves are not that. Very shapely tree, conical shaped tree, low branching, and ebony, black wood. Yeah, ebony.
So is this the ebony that would be used on piano keys?
Can be. Yeah. All the black woods they're hard. So ebony sea. It can be. But it's a small tree. I have chanted the very powerful mantra, don't worry about snakes.
About a snake until you said the word.
That's like saying don't think about elephants. Now all I can think about are snakes and elephants.
Yeah, the mantra works on snakes. Not so good on scorpions, though.
I became an associate of Royal Photographic Society, a couple of international awards for my wildlife photographs, several Indian first prize for my wildlife photographs, only because I was a forest officer and I carried my camera with me. I could walk up to a tiger and take a photograph. I was chased by elephants, went on foot, survived that, tranquilized an elephant. That was the time when it was chased. The doctor who went to tranquilize it, it was there, the elephant was there in an open area, and a huge, 2 male elephants fight each other to death, and then the loser was, with the tusk, on the rump there was a huge wound. With the binocular I could see the pus dripping out of it, and it was simply staying, doing nothing. Then the doctor with a gun went near the elephant and crawled up to it, and then one Chittiyappa, one Kurgi fellow, very smart guy, he kept on sitting there, squatting, no action. So I had one Durge Gowda, one range officer, very good in wildlife, he saluted me. I said, okay, go. He goes, walks, and then he crawls, and then he also sits next to this veterinary doctor with a gun. So, and no action for half an hour, 45 minutes, and it appears like eternity. So who has to decide when there is no decision? Me, the DFO, I didn't know much about elephant. I walk, then where they started crawling, I too crawled. I reached them, I said, give me the gun, because I knew where to shoot the tranquilizer gun. Okay. He said, why no? If it turns, he said it in sign language. By then, I was a clever fellow. I had kept one eye on the elephant. That motionless elephant, she turned so swiftly, I saw its small eye. Like a mountain turning up. And I knew what to do. I ran for my life. So one thought comes, that Olympian Indian, he lost it by looking back. Don't look back is the only thought I had. I ran. And somebody shot the gun in the air. And I went to the forest. I ran to the forest. And I was panting. And then I was surrounded by guards with gun. And where were they? None of them were there. I was really scared. Then one fellow said, come. And one tribal fellow called me. We all reassembled. Anyway, then the next day, when the gun was shot, the elephant had put a break. 1 meter, it had rained the previous day. And there was a mark of that running elephant stopping. A few more seconds, or probably I would have been a dead man. Things like that. So exciting time I had. That's why I say, even in Manipur, any place, forest officer's job is really rewarding and wonderful.
So when you were coming to Ghana, did you guys think you were going to be traipsing through a rainforest like this?
No, never. I hoped, though, I think, because I love this. This is my second trip. And, oh, look at that.
This, you see, is an endemic palm, wild coconut palm, and look at the leaves as if it is stitched. And pasted onto the rachis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild coconut.
This ornamental plant, it is basically Barlaria cristata, in a very hardy species, found in human altered environment, in the forest, in the rainforest, medicinal.
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful flowers.
What is it used for?
It is for asthmatic conditions and inflammation. It's used.
What was it called? Ramakant?
Barlaria cristata. It's in Tamil they call it December poo, wintry season, and it flowers.
For normal human beings, you could call it the Philippine violet. I think that's simpler.
We did look that up.
See,
We looked that up.
Yeah.
We cheated. Google Lens told us that.
this is Copsia arborea from the Andaman Nicobar group of islands. I am going to call it jasmine tree because there is no English name. You only have a botanical name, Copsia arborea.
Oh.
Not many have seen this. It has actually jasmine-like beautiful flowers, mild fragrance, especially in the morning. By evening, there is no fragrance. Very beautiful flowers, deep violet, purple fruits. They are very special. Is this? When look at the redness of the leaves. It's beautiful tree, ornamental tree, small tree.
What is the definition that makes something a rainforest?
Generally, forests, there are many ways of saying it. Forests near the equator, species-rich ecosystem, receive lots of rains, also magically create lots of rains. Yeah.
So the type of plant that creates the rains, if planted, become the rainforest.
It's a generic term. Rainforest is a generic term. I can say yes and I can say no.
Okay. I get it.
You get, but okay.
So
What
I
is the salient feature of a rainforest? I can tell you.
Yeah.
Take a flight, you will see 100 feet canopy. That is 10-story building, tall trees make for the canopy. And there are species, I'll tell you, they're called emergent layer, emergent species. They go up to 150 feet, 180 feet. Imagine an 18-story building. This big trunk with fluted trunks, They hold on, and then the thing is, they fruit there, 180 feet. The birds, the squirrels, they eat, and they drop the seed to the ground. The seed finds itself in which kind of an atmosphere? Dark, damp, and humid. And many of these trees are not supposed to see direct sunlight at all, because 100 feet canopy, 80 feet, 60 feet, 40 feet to very small trees, hardly 10 feet, 15 feet, and then ground flora, then climbers, a lot of. So we have succeeded growing in those plants which are not supposed to see sunlight. Less than 1% of the sunlight reaches the ground. Plants that are evolved to grow in such a condition, in the blazing hot sun.
And they're still growing.
Actually, I wasn't sure that any one of them would survive. So I resisted that, we should not bring these fragile plants into this harsh semi-arid landscape. But then it's the intuitive ability of Daji. He said, he didn't say do it, but then he managed that I do it. Huge leaves from the Western Ghats, and the red flower and the fruit with dark bands. So it's called tiger. And it opens, you will see big dark seeds. Then if you roast it and eat it, it's very tasty. Sterculia guttata.
So this forest is also like a restaurant. Huh? You could eat much of it.
In restaurant you cook. We don't do that.
We like it raw.
Yeah. Or pickled. This is a plant, the tender fruits of which is one of the Rudrakshas, Heliocarpus serratus, because it's a serrated leaf, This leaf is serrated. You just run your finger, you will.
Yes.
Okay. So this is pickled. One of the Rudrakshas, and it was very different color when the leaf was younger. Come. This is Arjuna. They're all planted nearly same time, and look at it, how it. Arjuna is the hero of that epic Mahabharata. You know something about him?
Yes.
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 So how tall will he get?
He gets about 80 feet, but generally found on river banks. This is a cardiotonic bark. So there are three great, there are many volumes written on many different authors, but three are the great. Astanga Hrudayam, Charaka Samhita, Shushruta Samhita. These three are great treatises on Ayurveda. All three recommend the bark of this tree for cardiovascular diseases. Vagabhatta, probably he was the first to suggest that boil this, take a bark, boil it in water and drink it, all arteries gets cleaned. Yeah, very recently I came to know, legend has it, Kunti, the protagonist of the Mahabharata, gave birth to her third son Arjuna through union with the king of course, Devendra, and she was on a river bank, and she finds a majestic tree, whitish green bark, pinkish green. She asks, what is this tree named? They say Arjuna. So then she says, let my son be known as Arjuna. And he becomes Arjuna the Great, one who could find union with the ultimate Lord Krishna. They were friends, and he was his devotee, merged with the ultimate personality that we.
And this tree was planted 4 years ago?
Yeah, but it was a big one,
bigger
about
tree,
10,
okay.
10 feet. There were 3 feet, 5 feet. This was a bit about, I should say.
So
it was a little.
in tree terms, he would be an adolescent.
No, still in its infancy.
Infancy.
A baby.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is a baby tree.
Toddler. They call it toddler Arjuna.
This is a Shaunaka, Oroxylon indicum, one of the red listed species of India. Dasha Mula Arista. When a Ayurveda physician of a caliber, when any of us go with some ailment, the first thing he or she should do is give Dasha Mula Arista. Okay, so Dasha means 10, Mula means root. So there are 5 trees and 5 herbs and shrubs. This is one of the 5 trees. And then sword like fruit is edible. In northeast India, they make delicious sabji, curry out of it. I will show you, you have to walk back. Here it is, fruiting.
Oh, the big beans. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yes, we wondered what those were the other day.
you saw that?
Yes, I was walking with Rudy and Christine, and we didn't know what those were.
In northeast India, they take a tongue cleaner, they scrape the green, chop it into small pieces, make delicious curry. Yeah, and they say it is very good for arthritis. Should be true.
I need some of that.
Oh. I had a wonderful time. Pain was there. I was being cleansed, I told you. But then the help came. You can't even imagine. A government of Manipur gives me, my wife suffers from cancer. I simply put some leave and come back. Government of Manipur creates a post for me in Bengaluru. And then I am given a car, 2 people to work with, and things like that. And I got a posting there. In my case, I shut down everything. What I need to do now, the only focus. Not worried about consequences. Don't think, no fear, nothing. Just my duty, what I should be doing now. So I could do that, and my wife never knew that I loved her, and I too didn't know that I love her. This love is a very abstract thing even for most of us, I'll tell you. But then she realized the way in which service happened from me, day in and day out, I could serve her without ever getting irritated. Sleepless nights, and still there is no irritability. Why? No irritability, no anger, no frustration. Capable of serving. How is it possible? Possible only because I meditated, otherwise impossible. So, India is full of plants from outside of India. It is a mega biodiversity country, but then in the last 80 years, planet Earth changed. Ruby, this is my Siddhanta. This is that's a bullfrog.
Whoa. Hey, buddy, come on up.
Disturbing my talk.
Maybe he was applauding.
Oh, look at it.
Oh.
It's sort of called the tadpoles. Or fish. I don't know if those are fish or tadpoles.
Yeah,
So-
so you were talking about your Siddhanta of
Yeah.
forest changing.
No, the 80 years, it's a land of ecological wisdom, the India. Okay, why you say that, make this tall climb, I can justify it, maybe some other time. It is a land of ecological wisdom because people have learned to live in with nature as a child on the lap of Mother Earth. I can quote you to impress. Look at one Atharva Veda stanza. What of thee I dig out, let it quickly grow. Let me not hurt thy vitals or thy heart. Let thy benevolence ever flow. Mother Earth. You get goosebumps when you hear about it. It's living in harmony with nature, ecological wisdom. How to turn all these plants into medicines or something useful as food, so much. 80 years. we brought in, or maybe a century, we brought in so many different plants from all across because global trade and travel. Oh, I like it, I bring it. Foolish, actually. But coming back to present, if you bring something like this. You planted a Indian plum. It's a cousin from Brazil. Okay, pitanga it is called. This is called the most generous fruit on earth. It's a ridged plum, green, yellow, bright yellow, dark crimson red. Put it in your mouth, it melts and highly fragrant, packed with nutrients. So you want to import something.
That's a good one to do.
That's a good one to do.
Well, how do you decide what is good, what is not? It's difficult.
Taste, fragrance,
Oh, so it's-
health, utilitarian aspect, and also aesthetics. Look at this. It's beautiful.
But suppose something tastes good, but it can become an invasive species and it conquers over stuff that...
I doubt, because they don't have to be invasive when it is tasty. The birds, the butterflies, birds, and then the squirrels, and then the bats. They eat it. The dispersion happens. It is the nasty ones who produce tons and tons of seeds and then somehow manage to invade an ecosystem. Generally, I have not found one tasty fruit invading anything.
Wow. That's
This-
a very interesting insight.
That's an interesting question too. I didn't know it came up. You stopped photographing me.
Yes,
You are tired.
No, my camera's tired. The battery ran out.
We missed out on this.
You're never getting out of your motion, never.
I have no interest in getting out of here right now.
Smell this. You have smelled this?
Oh.
Yes, I have.
Like a
Camphor.
lemon?
This is camphor. You have to crush it
Yes,
more.
I did, yeah. Camphor, okay.
They say the wood of this burns green. It's actually, you don't need to dry the wood to burn this camphor wood. It can burn even
Yeah,
green. Like most other woods, if it's fresh, it won't burn. But this burns.
Yeah.
When you said it burns green, I visualized green. Took me a minute to catch up with you. It's like, wow, that must be pretty.
You will not hold that camera?
I will.
Yeah, please.
What are these?
Smell this. Smell. Smell this.
Now, what is that?
This is again an aromatic plant from the Western Ghats. Smells really good.
It smells familiar, but I don't know what it is.
That is Lantana camarae. This is not Lantana. This is a califa. And look at this berry. This is called Mysore Jamun. It has nothing to do with Jamun, but it is edible.
Oh.
And look at it.
Is it good for you?
It is. It is.
Because I'm pointing What does it taste like?
Bitter.
It's bitter and
Astringent.
Astringent, yeah.
No, thank you.
You missed out on something, brother. Actually, have you heard of you are a doctor. Have you heard of a concept called hidden hunger?
No.
It is nothing to do with hunger, lack of nutrients. So when we become, especially from traditional meat eaters become vegetarians, we limit our food diet to very few vegetables and fruits. That causes hidden hunger. This is for you, Mr. Hill Dog, that the ensuring that you don't suffer from micronutrients is to
Deficiency.
deficiency is to diversify your food base, eat wild fruits packed with nutrients.
Yeah.
If you miss it out,
Okay, I'll have me one of those.
and it is not bad to taste actually.
They're not bad.
They're not.
Just.
They're just bitter.
I would have a second
No,
one.
it's not bitter.
It's different, but not so bad that I wouldn't have a second one.
This was a good one.
Yeah,
This
it's not
is-
too bad.
This is a dark one. Is this good?
The darker the better.
The darker the better. Uh-huh.
That's the ripening.
It has a little more
Yeah, it kind of grows on
juice
you.
in
It's
it.
it's not bad. It's nice. You won't find any fruits on this next time you're here. Remember the other day, Marsha, we were thinking that these are probably poisonous. Let's just leave them alone.
That's right, because we've all been taught not to eat bright-colored fruit.
Yeah.
That we don't
See,
know.
This is tasty. It should ripe like this.
That's like the one I just ate. I was. Yeah, there's several good ones there, huh? Thank you. Here, for you.
For me? Oh, thank you.
It's like I told you that I don't care about AC. Like I don't feel the heat. Of course, wherein I feel uncomfortable when it is cold. Even a nip in the air makes me uncomfortable physically. See, it is more of a fad. I talked about a big car. Big car is not necessary. And understanding, like my car is more, of course, comfortable than my scooter under a hot sun. That's a different thing. But then it's more of a fad, a show off. We do all that. Much of our effort is to gain social acceptance and reverence, respect. Somehow all of humanity craves, and that's why. Otherwise, we can live. If we become spiritual beings, then you don't really care much about what others think of you. You don't have to have a wonderful sofas and this and gadget to show off. You say, I do not need his appreciation at all. You are content within yourself. Then our needs dwindle. We become, if we don't need much, the moment you say, I am content, I am happy, all I need is some good food, some nice dress to wear, and a place to stay, that should be good enough. I don't need a big bungalow, I don't need a big car, I don't need recognition. I'm fine. That's the way. Then this climate change, you say you do forestation, you do this, change your lifestyle. Change our lifestyle. That can happen. See, there's a vast universe within each one of us. So, an entry to that is consume with care. This is elephant apple, big cricket ball, bigger than cricket ball fruit, and sour pulp, fruit pulp with lots of seeds, edible. They make put it into dal, and then the fruit rind is used for hair wash. Yeah. Who is going to eat this?
I don't know. What is it?
This is coffee berry.
Coffee berry.
Yeah,
Is it the actual? No,
it is coffee.
It is.
it's
coffee.
actual coffee.
It's actually coffee.
The green.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
green is more ripe, or the red is more ripe.
Red is
wow.
ripe.
The red is ripe.
Yeah.
Like here, coffee.
Yeah, actually,
Shade-grown coffee.
it is
should've
edible.
got the French
fruit
press
is
here.
edible.
Edible. Okay.
Yeah, seed is not edible. It can be made into coffee. You eat the fruit.
Eat the fruit. Okay.
When we said we'll meet at a cafe, I didn't mean this, Ramakant.
That's the seed.
Yeah, and the fruit is from rubiaceae, edible fruits. The story goes that a Sufi saint in Karnataka, okay, this comes from Ethiopia. A shepherd found the goats feeding on the fruits and then bouncing with joy, and then the Arabs made it a ritual to have coffee. In Yemen, they made it as a ritual, the Sufi saint, and they never allowed it to go out. A Sufi saint from Karnataka, Baba Budan, he goes there in his robe, he tucks in 6 beans, smuggles it out and grows it in Chikmagalur district. Now India is one of the largest producers of coffee. This is coffee Arabica.
Thanks to Baba Budan.
Yeah.
Wow. Lovely.
I spent some time in Brazil years ago.
Do you know that
Had
song?
a coffee.
They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. A politician's daughter was accused of drinking water. And they fined her a big fat $1,000 bill.
They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
So is this the pond that had it has some lily pads? Is this the pond?
Yeah, it is now.
What happened to? I was told that this was full of lily pads a year ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah, about a year back, yeah.
Yeah, and now there aren't very many.
She's asking one question about which I don't know the answer.
Okay.
Is it the season?
I have no clue. We are very honest people. We have no clue.
Well, I know that just a month ago there were beautiful flowers.
A month ago,
Lilies.
okay. Yeah, that's
So
They
it's
were
the
there.
season, probably.
maybe. They came
hope.
to show us last week, and they came to show us this, and with all the flowers and the frogs and everything, and they weren't here, so we wondered what happened to them.
No, not me.
There's also a very rare species in this rainforest. It's Ramacanthus indica. Where? Ramacanthus indica. Here, this is an extremely rare species. Very beneficial to mankind. Extremely beneficial to mankind. It's a panacea for all sorts of, and especially for boredom. Ramacanthus indica.
Yes.
The other day, I was so full of happiness. I really said, if I die today, it will be good. Now again, you are pushing me to that moment.
No, here we save endangered species, brother.
Oh, how the bark is coming off.
No.
That's some sort of palm, right?
It's a fishtail palm. The leaf looks like the fin of a fish. Actually, it looks as if the rest of the leaves are chewed away by donkey or a cow. See that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Uneven. Brother, I would like to talk about eco-poetry, but then there is no reference of Indians, saints and poets in eco-poetry book. They talk about eco-poetry. But India, thousands of years ago, they spoke so much about the plants. For example, this is Ashoka, Sita Ashoka. They say Ashokam Shokanashanam, sorrowless tree. The Ravana, the villain of Ramayana epic, he kidnaps Sita Mata, Mother Sita, and he's a gentleman. He doesn't do anything. Or he couldn't do anything, I don't know. But he keeps her under this tree. This video of yours will be 2 hours. No one is going to see it.
No, don't worry. People watch long videos. Ponniyin Selvan was how long? 3 hours.
So, Ashokam Shokanashanam. Even though he was evil, he wanted her to be happy looking at the beautiful flowers. The leaves are incredibly beautiful when they are young. Okay?
It's a destroyer of sorrow.
The destroyer of sorrows, sucks away of. What it means actually is panacea for women-related problems. Just boil the bark, leaf, drink it, kashayam, and menstrual cycle irregularity goes, things like that. It's a proven kind of a thing. Thousands of years we have been using this, but then it is now red listed. If you ask me why it is red listed, I
Why
know.
is it red listed?
Are they keen to know?
Are you keen to know why it's red listed?
We
Red
should
listed is
probably know.
vulnerable.
I want to know
Yeah.
why it's red listed.
Okay.
Please tell them.
No, I really thought she's serious. Are you? Yeah. I know why. Because I come from a dense forest area of Western Ghats. When it is fruiting, none of us go to forest because of leeches and slippery, this, that. So, but then within a month or so, the seeds have to be kept in the ground. So seed collection becomes the problem. And habitat destruction and illicit harvest, overexploitation is the cause. Ex-situ conservation is difficult because you don't get the seeds at the right time. Very short viability. I somehow a funny fellow. You put me in a small hole also, my happiness doesn't diminish. I don't crave for nature's beauty. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. Very peculiar. I don't appreciate. Ha ha ha. I know to create beauty. I'm not no conceited. I know I'm an artist. I create beauty. But looking at the beauty, I never felt. I can live without. Very funny. I don't have the ability to, oh, what a nice moonlight and all that. As a young man, I always wanted a lover whenever I had this moonlight. As an old man, I said, oh, nice light, that's it. Don't respond to it with feelings or emotions, sadly. Yeah. This is the tree, a wild jackfruit, which has the potential to grow 150 feet tall. 30 feet, no branching. Excellent source of timber. Fruits are miniature jackfruit, delicious. Seeds are edible.
I'm going to try and remember. Monocarpus hirsutus?
Autocarpus hirsutus.
I was almost there.
Almost there.
Autocarpus hirsutus.
This is how the Western Ghats story, the forest floor would look. Baliospermum montana. It's the ground cover from the Western Ghats. There is no parallel to this in the world of fragrance, natural fragrance. This is the ultimate.
Chanel number 5.
Hold it like this.
That.
Oh my.
You're not kidding. This is,
That is the most pleasant.
it's very subtle.
Wow, it
And
is really nice.
just
It
beautiful.
is something. What is it, Ramakantai?
Anarkali. Allspice.
Old Spice.
Allspice. Think of clove, it smells clove. Then you think of pepper, it is pepper. Then it is cardamom, you feel
this is
cardamom.
allspice.
It's
But
allspice.
it smells
This
so
is what we
different.
planted at the farm.
And then you put it in rice while you make one leaf, the whole thing looks
It's fragrant.
fragrant.
But right off the
The-
tree, it smells
becomes
so
fragrant.
different.
Yeah.
When you get it dried in the container,
It's not nearly as nice.
it's not as nice. It's
Which is the plant?
Yeah, which is it?
Here it
We
is.
lost it.
Yeah.
This one. This one.
This guy. Wow.
that's great that you
He's a superstar.
Isn't it?
He is a superstar.
It's so hard to imagine that this grew up just in 4 years. I mean, it's phenomenal.
When was the last time you guys came?
I was here 2 years ago in February, and there were not nearly as many plants as there are now. I did not come through the rainforest, but just around Kanha in general, there are so many large plants that I don't remember being here. So
And what about you, Margaret?
This is the first time I've been here.
Ah, okay.
But to know, just to be told that you started planting it 4 years ago and it's already
like this.
like this is phenomenal.
It is a feat.
It's a real feat. It's
No credit goes to me there. It is elsewhere, actually. It's a miracle in the making.
So, ladies, before we leave the forest, final words. What was your morning like?
It's been breathtaking. It's been eye-opening, broadening my horizons, and just delightful to spend it with them. Yes, and all of you.
I think I can't add anything to those eloquent words. This was very, very special.
Yes,
Thank you.
we can't.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
To be with a real treasure of Kanha, truly, and who, with your knowledge, with your understanding, and your love of these plants and how to care for them, what you can teach us all about caring for the plants and bringing the love and the transmission, the energy that you bring to all of this.
You see, most of the disciples, they keep speaking about their guru, he is this, that. And without being, it's no false humility.
Yes.
Trust me, when you go with Daji, he is so concerned, why is this leaf drying? I do not know, I keep quiet. It's he, if you see, it is amazing. Now I know, when we meditate, we develop intuitive ability, somehow feel what is needed. Most people walk by, but somehow it draws you. He, whatever he is, it is because of him, and despite me this happened. There is no humility there, because 2 times I said, cannot be done. When I did it, didn't believe one would survive. Just didn't. But I did it because I said, it's his choice. I did it despite me. So there is no false humility. But then we all worked well, we worked hard, that's a different thing. And then I know all these plans, that's different. But to believe that this can happen in this semi-arid landscape, that a visionary can do.
Yes.
Am I right or not?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We need to be truthful, you see, brother. You speak something.
The other part of it, and absolutely that part, without it, there's nothing. But the other part of it is your humor, your communication together. You all clearly just greatly enjoy working together. Without that, it can't happen. Because that also is critical.
No, Ramakant, by his laughter, I'm sure, enriches the lives of these trees.
The joy
Seriously.
that you, I mean, I think it must be mutual between the plants and the people. Yeah.
This was such a gift to invite us. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Hill Dog is...
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys. It was lovely. It was lovely having you. I was privileged to be part of this morning. He called me up at like half an hour before. Oh, you have to come. It was my privilege. It was my privilege, really. Always is.
So that was my morning with this extraordinary human being, Dr. Ramakanta. Or should I just say the extremely rare species of Ramacanthus indica.
मौसम कोई हो इस चमन में फूल बन के रहेंगे इन फिजा में चाहत की खुशबू यूं ही जुल्फों से उड़ेगी फिजाओं या गहारे यूं ही झूमते हम मिलते रहेंगे बनके कली बनके सबा बागे वफा में महका करेंगे
बनके
कली बनके सबा बागे वफा में रहे ना रहे हम
Now you have photographed me. I assure you I will never see this. If I see it, I know what wrong I did, and writing it may not be in my capacity. Why look at this? I am not interested.